I'm here with
Your boy Sonny and
Your boy Nas. What is up, everybody?
guys. We are so excited to bring you the full stack developer guide, the ultimate manifesto of developer guides for you. Are you guys ready?
Are you ready?
Guys, we are so excited to bring this value bombs to you. What are we going to be covering in this, Sunny?
so guys, we're going to be covering front end development, back end development, a bit of DevOps. We've
Yep.
got some stuff involved around which language do you pick? I know that there's a lot of different things out there, like different front end languages, back end languages. We're going to go through a bunch of them, why and which ones you need to be worried about and put your time towards. Yeah, Naz, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, it's gonna be what I got to say is we're gonna cover the front end, we're gonna cover the back end, we're gonna give you guys the roadmap on how to go ahead and get to become a full stack developer. That is the goal here, guys.
Yep. And guys, lots of technologies. Okay, so just to roadmap a little bit, we're going to be talking about React, JavaScript, Firebase, things like Material UI, Command Line, Angular, Bootstrap, Node, making money with freelancing, MongoDB. So we're going to talk about things like NoSQL and SQL right over here, Java, Python, and Heroku, Git, and Amazon services is going to be another one of those things we're going to touch base on, and frameworks like Vue.js or which editors you should use, packages like NPM, and many more things. So with that said, guys, let's actually just start moving forward. So it's going to be your roadmap to becoming a full stack developer in 2020. And let me put us right over here so you guys can see us. Okay, awesome. So let's move forward. Now, what should they do, Naz, before we continue?
Guys, here's what I want you to do. I literally want you to take your phone, okay? Take this phone right here, and I literally want you to chug it right away from you. Chug it on your bed, chug it out your window. Okay, don't
Smash
chug it out
it.
your window. Smash
Check it out of your window. Just break your phone.
Most importantly, guys, focus because it's going to be very important. Put your phone on do not disturb, and let's get this going.
Yep.
Exactly, guys.
All right. So a lot of people are like, where do I begin, guys? First thing we want to say is it doesn't matter. Just start. And we do want to talk about what does it mean? What does it mean when somebody says full stack? What is the meaning of that? So Sunny, talk us through what it means when somebody says full stack.
So when somebody says full stack, guys, they're talking about so we're talking about front end development, back end development, and then a few extra additions to that. So we're talking about things like databases, how you can push information into a database, pull it from a database, set that all up. And then we're also talking about something called DevOps. So some of you guys might actually not know what DevOps is. We're going to go ahead and cover that today and show you why it's useful, why people get paid a lot of money to know these sort of skills. And we're also going to cover some interesting things like mobile app development. So that all comes under what we call a full stack development developer. And yeah, with that said, hope you guys are excited.
And here are the salaries, guys, for people who are becoming developers in United States, for full stack developers salaries. So if we look over here, years by experience in the United States, now it doesn't matter if you have less than 1 year of experience, you can still be looking at about $92,000 a year. And any more than that, and you're talking about a lot of income, like $136,000 or more. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, but I am not in United States. How can I do this? Doesn't my life suck? No, I mean, like, you can still get jobs in different places like United States, remote jobs. You guys can get jobs in other countries as well, like Germany or United Kingdom or Canada. So there are lots of markets that are actually available to you. Now, what am I looking at over here, Naz, with these top companies?
So these top companies, guys, right? We got what? We got Tesla, we got Cisco, we got IDC Technologies, right? Fannie Mae. And what you can see, right? You know, the salary, right? Even though the average salary right now we have is 92K, right? What you can go if you go for those top companies, you're looking at 173K, 148K, 145. So you're looking at around 100K average salary.
My
Now
bad. We
that
were blocking it, but now you guys should be able to see it.
Yeah, it's just simply insane from literally from that's a crazy salary, right? So yeah, just something to definitely something to think about.
Yep. Let's move forward. Now, what's this, Sunny?
So on this page, my screen's a bit slow.
So
What
front
screen
end
am I-
versus back end, and we're looking at the two people slapping each other.
Yeah. So this is
Very
this is
interesting
what
image.
difficult stage, guys. You're gonna have a lot of like heat between front end developers and back end developers. But what we want to show you today is that if you actually go ahead and master the skills of a front end developer and you pick up some back end development skills, or you flip it around and do it the other way, whichever side you prefer, we're going to show you why that's so valuable and why you can take that skill and run with it. With that said, guys, if you're interested in learning front end development, I'm actually going to be jumping on a React coaching call inside of Proper with JavaScript right now. So the link is in the description. And with that, I'm going to be hopping onto that coaching call right now. If you're interested, go check it out. And I'll leave you guys to go and crush this live session.
Hey, peace out, Sonny.
Yeah, peace out, Sonny. Thanks for jumping in, guys. And if you guys give it up for Sonny and just smash the like button for Sonny. All right,
smash the like button and subscribe.
Break that like button. All right, now finally Nas can get his logo underneath him. Peace out, Sonny.
Hey.
Boom, there we go. Popped in place.
All right. Hey.
Hey, we got more room for each other, bro. Look at all this room. What am I gonna do with all this? Nice. Let's keep it rocking and rolling, you guys. So let's start. We're gonna start off with front end. Nas, take it away.
All right, guys. So the three most important things, guys, when you're thinking about front end, right? You're thinking about the front end view, right? What you see on the website, and that includes what? That includes HTML. That includes CSS, and that includes JavaScript. And those three are the most important things that you guys need to learn as the base foundation for a front-end developer.
Beautiful. Okay. I tried to give you some nice words that went along with it. And now here are the job opportunities and salaries for developers. So we already checked them out, and I just want to show you guys some more. So keep in mind, guys, I know a lot of you have less than 1 year of experience in coding. So that's why we want to show you opportunities where even with less than 1 year of experience, but a lot of hard work, these salaries are possible for you. Okay. And there are 45,000 jobs or more available right this second for developers. And even if you go on a platform like Upwork and just type in the word JavaScript, for example, you'll see a ton of job opportunities available to you guys. So that's going to be really, really huge. All right, let's keep it moving forward. Okay, so what am I looking at here with the Stack Overflow?
So guys, check this out. So Stack Overflow does surveys every single year at hundreds of thousands of developers, and JavaScript, HTML, CSS, are literally always for the past few years have been at the top of the list, right? And so what that tells you is just the popularity and the growth that most likely you're gonna have as the years go by, and in the next 5-10 years, right? So I think that just says a lot.
Super popular, and it's important. Now, what I touched on earlier for you guys, it doesn't matter what countries you're in, you can still be part of these job markets. You could be part of USA, part of Canada, or Germany, or United Kingdom. So your country doesn't really matter whether you are currently in Uruguay or Kenya, or you are in Dubai. Like, it doesn't, or Saudi Arabia, or wherever, like Turkey. Your country doesn't matter. You can always work for these types of countries if you want a higher paying salary. And guys, here are the top companies that are actually using JavaScript. So what are these companies here now?
We got Facebook, Microsoft, LinkedIn, eBay, Groupon, right? Tesla, Netflix, Google, Uber, Tinder, Airbnb, PayPal. Insane, guys. And half of them, we already built clones for half of them already. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Building tons of clones for all of these. Now, guys, if you guys are enjoying this video and you want to help us and do us a huge favor, we want this video to go out to as many people as possible. So please, if you could, just go ahead and smash that like button. And just with that, we can send this video out to so many other people who are trying to become developers, get promotions, land their dream jobs, or become freelancers and start their own companies. And we can all do that and be a part of it just by hitting that like button so this video goes out to them.
Hey.
Now, moving forward, this is overall, just so, guys, when we say full stack, it's front end combined with back end. So let's dive into front end first. Now, when you look at front end nowadays, it has gotten like a little bit more complex than it used to be. There's a lot of things you guys have to kind of know about. For example, of course, you have to know about HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But within CSS, these are some of the things you might have to start knowing about. Within JavaScript, you might have to start knowing about frameworks like Angular, Vue.js, or React. I mean, we will talk a lot about React. A lot of our channel is pretty heavy on React, as you guys will see. In libraries, well, do you want Bootstrap, Material UI, or Semantic? And then in tools, are you looking at NPM, Webpack, and Chrome DevTools? Those are all, and that's not even all of it, you know. And in this video, we'll go deeper into it. But this is just to kind of show you guys the overall roadmap we're going to be looking at when we're talking about front end. Go ahead, Naz.
All right, so guys, good question. What can you do with JavaScript? First things is you can build web applications, right? So web applications include things like, guys, Facebook, that's a web app, right? We can build native apps. I don't know if you know, Tesla, the actual app for your iOS and Android, is built with React, which is insane, right? And you can also build server apps. So server apps are your backend applications using Node.js, and those are very popular as well, right?
Exactly. They're super powerful. And now let's get into the technical nitty gritty. So when it comes to HTML, just learn the basics, make a page, make it work. Don't overcomplicate it. So keep it simple and just get started. Now moving forward, when we're talking about CSS, Vishal, thank you for the first donation. Really appreciate that, buddy. Learn how to use different layouts, Flexbox, responsive design, media queries, and this is going to be part of CSS as you guys like learn it. And then in JavaScript, Naz, what's happening?
Well, we got obviously we got data types, right? So like your var, your let, your const, right? You got your functions, and the ES6 is a very big part of it, right? So you have to know all the new ES6 standards. You got DOM manipulation, you got scope, you got your fetch API, you also got your async await. Yeah, so much along with that, but very important as well.
Yeah, and when we're talking about ES6 and those things, we are also talking about things like, for example, you guys have probably seen these arrow functions. You know, that's just like a little example of what we're talking about. Okay, cool. So let's move forward. Now, we're not going to cover too much visual and design stuff because if you guys want to go deep into our front-end developer guide, we did produce one last week, I believe. You guys can go on our channel and check out our front-end developer guide, and we just go really deep into a lot of front-end stuff. And this one, we're going to get to more of the back-end stuff, so then we can give you guys that as well. So definitely check that one out. Now, when we're looking at what is a framework, you know, what is going on here? And oh, by the way, Bojack joined Profit with JavaScript yesterday, and he actually just said in the chat, he goes, really loving Profit with JavaScript so far. Thank you, bro.
Hey, that's awesome. Appreciate it.
That is amazing. I was super pumped when I saw him join yesterday. I was so happy.
Wow.
So awesome. Now let's keep going. So remember we touched base on some of the front end stuff, and we will touch on frameworks now. So now the most popular frameworks are which ones, Naz?
We got Angular, obviously, right? Then we also got Vue, and then we got our favorite one, Qazi, React.
Hey.
Yeah, and I think one as you can see from here, right? A lot of companies are using all three frameworks are both very popular. You got, for example, AngularJS used by companies like The Guardian, Upwork, PayPal, Sunny, React.js, Airbnb, Instagram, or Uber Eats, and then Vue.js, Alibaba, Grammarly, GitLab, and guys, and so much more. That's just the starting of it, right? So yeah, all very important, all very popular frameworks.
Yep. And I wrote which one is our favorite. I wrote it underneath. Which should you choose? So when it comes to framework, there's a big war between the most loved frameworks, the most dreaded, and the most wanted. Under the most wanted, you will see my beautiful friend React.js. And it is by far the most wanted. And then underneath it, you will see other ones like Vue or Angular, Django, and all of that. Now, all these frameworks, guys, are super powerful. They're really, really powerful. But React right now is on this type of trend. like, those exponential
Yeah.
curves that they taught us in school.
Yeah.
Angular is a little bit on the downward trend, and Vue is doing okay. The reason for that, you guys, is Angular is a lot more opinionated, and it's a framework. Vue is
Yeah.
a framework. React is actually just a library. So
Yeah.
it's pretty much like you're just using JavaScript. So it's extremely lightweight, and then it's super powerful, which is why companies like Instagram and Facebook are using it. So this is the trend that I was referring to. You guys can see here's React, and then here's the React curve, and this is modern according to Google Trends. And these are actually the downloads per year. And then you guys can
Downloads
see.
from where? Downloads from where?
I don't know actually. Not exactly sure. But
Yeah,
here's Angular.
I think. Sorry, the thing is just downloads in general, just downloading the actual library itself.
Yeah,
That's what it.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
So there you go. So when you think React, React for the win. So that's what we're going with, and it has a really nice component-based design to it. So Naz, go for it.
Yeah, so one of the big things, guys, in React is all about managing data. That's what kind of sets React apart from a lot of these frameworks, and it's something called Redux, and it's a little bit hard to understand, but we're gonna go to it. So let's go ahead to the next thing. So Redux Context API, that is when you're able to, for example, properly store data. Think of it as like data, local data of your on your application, and then kind of use it throughout your whole app. So whenever you change one thing, for example, on one side of the app, right, another thing will be able to change as well. So it kind of talks in sync with each other.
Exactly. And managing data in React, you guys can look into MobX as well, which is kind of like next level of things, but it's bleeding edge, but it's just something optional for you to look into. And as Bruce Buffer apparently says, we have tons of live builds that we've put on YouTube, and you guys can check them out. So we actually did a Zoom clone build. We did Spotify clone build with React. We built TikTok with React. We built YouTube clone with React. We built Tinder with React. And we built a bunch of other things like Netflix with React right over here. And we built Instagram with React and a real-time chat app for Facebook Messenger. And just yesterday, we built Slack real-time chat app with React. So guys, if you are looking to learn React, you are in the right place. Or if you're looking to learn just JavaScript in general, you're in the right place.
Yeah, and if you guys have any suggestions for us on what you want to see in terms of next, like a next clone in React, literally drop that in the comments below.
Yep. Take it away, Naz.
All right, so backend development. So guys, front-end development was the first thing that we cover, right? That is the first part of full stack developer. Now the backend, right? That is the backend part of the application. So that is the server side part of the application. And this is like the salary of the backend developer individually. You can see 127K average salary, which is pretty much comparable with the front-end developer, just maybe a little bit higher, no?
Yeah, exactly. It's even a little bit higher sometimes. Yep.
Yeah.
Huge. Keep going.
All right. So with backend development, guys, what language do we use, right? That's a good question. So there's a lot. We have Python, we have JavaScript, we have Go, TypeScript, Rust, Java, and so much more. But I think what kind of differentiates backend is what frameworks are we going to use, right? As you can see, Python is the top one, JavaScript is second. So let's see which ones what frameworks go along with those languages. So Node.js, one of the most popular ones. Interestingly enough, guys, Netflix actually uses Node.js for their whole backend structure, the whole backend development structure. So Node.js. Next thing we have what? Let's keep going. And so JavaScript, as you can see, right, JavaScript is Node.js, and JavaScript allows us to do front end and backend at the same time, right? That was React, right, for front end, and then backend is with Node.js. So very popular with that.
Yep. So JavaScript the great thing about learning JavaScript is it's kind of a hack, like it's a little trick. You're essentially learning front end and back end at the same time. So if you get good at JavaScript, you're kind of getting good at both simultaneously.
Yeah. And that makes you a full stack developer basically.
Yep.
Yeah.
And keep going.
Yeah, next thing we got Python, another big popular language, and then we got Rust programming language. Then we got, what's the next one? Golang, Java, right? And then Golang, Java, and now at this point we've covered those. Let's now talk about how we store data. That is a full stack developer.
Yep. So now, guys, here we got SQL that allows you to store data. And then we also have NoSQL on the other side. So when we're talking about storing data in very basic terms, think about it like a video game where you have saves and you can have checkpoints. If you couldn't store data, you couldn't have all the likes showing up under your Instagram post.
Mm-hmm.
If you couldn't store data, you couldn't come back the next day and your Instagram post would be gone.
Yep.
So essentially, that's storing data. For some reason, it took me the longest time to understand what a database was because it always just sounded complicated, super complicated. But it's really just a saving / checkpoint in a video game. Okay.
Yeah. And if you couldn't store data, you wouldn't be able to see this YouTube video.
Oh yeah, exactly.
That's a big part.
And so if you have NoSQL database, right? What's cool about those is they are highly scalable. They have high availability, really fast performance, replication, and then big data capability.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So let's go up to here, NoSQL, and then we also got, so this is, when we say NoSQL and SQL, these are the two that we got right here. All right, these are the two things. So it's always a thing that people are debating between which way they want to go. Sonny and I oftentimes kind of just go with Firebase, which is essentially NoSQL. It's a NoSQL and a SQL hybrid, which we'll talk about later. But, SQL, you got your relational tables. In SQL, also, you have to have all the tables and columns kind of predefined. Whereas in NoSQL, you have a lot more flexibility. You can map things out on the fly. So if you're building things for your own self, honestly, I think it's a lot more fun to use NoSQL just because you're not really bounded by a lot of things and you can kind of play around with data and all of that. And then, if you can switch it to a SQL at some point if you want.
Yeah, but I want to make a small addition, guys. Both are important and both are important to learn. A lot of companies are using NoSQL. A lot of companies are also using SQL. So, definitely consider that too.
Right. Like NoSQL, there are examples of NoSQL are like MongoDB, right? MongoDB. And
Firebase.
then you have Firebase, things like that. And then SQL, you have MySQL, you got Postgres.
PostgreSQL.
Yep.
Those are two top ones,
So they're like really big. All right, and then you guys got GraphQL, which is, you start getting into the API type of world, but I think GraphQL is important to learn. There's MongoDB, Firebase. Now, Naz, you can talk about this.
So what is Firebase and why is it so useful for full stack? So we touched on, guys, that Firebase is what? It's a NoSQL database, right? But the reason why it's such a big part is because it is actually something called, so actually go to the right. Keep going. One more time. It is a real-time database. That means that as you update things, you can basically create real-time applications like, Messenger, right, clone, or WhatsApp clone really easily without having to do like crazy, coding or anything like that. And that's what separates Firebase from a lot of these other databases.
Exactly. And I already know a bunch of people are messaging like, hey, why don't we use AWS? And probably a lot of you are thinking, if you have a choice, guys, between AWS on one side and Firebase on the other, choose Firebase. The reason is Firebase is just an easier AWS.
Yeah.
That's how I put it. Okay. It's easy, simple AWS. it has pretty much all the functionality you'll ever need. Okay, look, Firebase is being used by companies like Instacart and Twitch. So it's not that it's for little people or just if you're making a small app. You could build very powerful things with Firebase. But we like to go with it just because it's so much simpler and easier. I've done both AWS and Firebase, and I choose Firebase all the time just because with AWS, there's a lot of admin headache you have to deal with. There's a lot of DevOps stuff that you have to learn about, which, you know, as a developer, you kind of just want to develop and move forward. And we're going to talk about a lot of other things with Firebase as well in just a second. So, for example, it is scalable. So if you want to have 100 million users or whatever, your app will scale to match that.
Yeah.
And this is what is the real-time database that Firebase has. And then if you want to even add things like machine learning or whatever, you can actually just add that with Firebase. I'm sure just like AWS has those types of functionalities. And the really powerful thing about Firebase, you guys, is you can build full backends without even doing anything with Node, without even doing anything like that. You can actually just do cloud functions. And
That's insane.
Yeah, cloud functions allow. Did you know this, by the way, Naz?
I didn't even know this, honestly.
Oh, really? So,
No.
yeah, you could actually do full on everything. Like if you want to build a payment gateway with Stripe, Sonny and I actually built it with Firebase. With
Wow,
cloud
that's
functions.
insane. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so you guys can do everything with just React and Firebase and literally have a scalable app to 100 million people and, you know, just handle everything like that. Firebase can also do storage for you. So if your app has images, Firebase can optimize those images or media files for you and handle everything. So this is why, you know, I really am a big advocate for it. It's just like how AWS has Lambda. Firebase has Cloud Functions, which is essentially the same functionality, but just much easier to and user-friendly. Naz, you want to touch on this?
Yeah, now as a Firebase is application. It's like a really simply set up, you know, app to be able to authenticate or like log in. You know, you can log in.
Naz,
a lot of these apps.
Naz, I'm sorry, I have to cut you off for a second. Your audio is cutting off. Maybe you can turn off your video and your audio would be better because your connection, I think, is dropping a little bit. But
Okay.
I will speak to this point a little bit, guys. So authentication, you can do all types of authentication like Google, Facebook, Twitter, GitHub, email, or even phone. All of these types of authentication you could do with Firebase, you guys, and it's so easy. It's all like few lines of code and one click of a button, and boom, you have Google authentication built in. As a matter of fact, yesterday we built a clone for what did we build a clone on, Frankie, yesterday? What did we build? Look it up. Slack. So yesterday we built Slack clone. So real-time chat app using Firebase. And that clone that we built even had user authentication with using Firebase with Google. It had Google user authentication. So you guys can definitely use Firebase for all of these types of things as well. Yeah, thank you guys for reminding me. Everybody's yelling at me. They're like, Slack, Hendrik says Slack, Curran is Slack. So thank you guys so much. Appreciate that. All right. So Naz, can you speak now? Let's try it. So talk about this, maybe Cloud Functions, and let's see if your audio is working.
Yeah, so you know, Cloud Functions basically you're able to create similar, very small functionalities, and hopefully you guys can hear me well now.
Yeah.
Very small functionalities. It's kind of like AWS Lambda functions, except this is now with Google. And so you can create what kind of small applications can they create with that, Qazi?
You could create actually as big of applications as you want, like crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, you can literally build an application like Twitch using. So this is getting into the world of serverless. And when you get into serverless architecture, I think this is where all modern development is actually going. And if you guys want to be on the true bleeding edge and be one of the most highly paid and sought after people, please start learning all serverless as of today, as of now. Because your app can scale and you don't have to pay for anything that's not being used. So if you have functions in your app that are not being run, if you just host them on, let's say, Heroku, well, you have to pay for every single function, every single line of code that you have in your app. Now, contrast that with using cloud functions. Unless a user actually activates that function, maybe like, let's say they charge their card and you have like a Stripe function that runs to charge their card for the transaction, that piece of code will not run until the user interacts with it. It's almost like it's sleeping. And then as soon as they use it, boom, now it runs and it gets activated and you get charged for it at that time. So you can take a big company and instead of them spending $100 million a year, you can cut them down to maybe $50 million a year just by moving to a serverless architecture. And it's so much more scalable. Programming like this is a lot more fun, a lot more bug-free and error-free. So really look into serverless architectures. And again, your app, you can build as massive of an app or as small of an app as you can think of using cloud functions.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's move here. Now, Firebase also has all your storage. Okay, so basically you can store everything. All your media can be stored here. And then it also can help you optimize your images and videos as well. So I'm going to move on to the next. And it has your regular analytics that you expect to see in your app. And it has all of those built in and much easier to use than AWS, you guys. I built applications with AWS, and to this day, I'm trying to figure out how to use the freaking cloud log or whatever. It's so freaking complicated, dude.
It's very complicated, man. I still myself like have a hard time with this. All I know is how to launch an EC2 instance. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
And I don't know why they don't just make everything super, super simple and basic. But with this, you guys, it comes built in. So as soon as you launch an app, you don't have to do anything. It automatically adds all the Google Analytics from start of your app. And all the React clones that we actually built have Google Analytics installed in them, and it tracks them. And then when it comes to testing, this is the best set of testing suite that you could ever imagine. It could literally test your app concurrently on like thousands of different types of devices for you. And then it tells you the results of all of those tests and lets you know if there's any problems with it or if it's not responsive or whatever the error may be. And yeah, so you can do A/B testing with Firebase, cloud messaging, in-app messaging, and you know, it's time for Firebase to sponsor us. So guys, please reach out to them.
Yeah, Firebase, come on, let's go.
Yep. So somebody's saying, yep, people, can one use Firebase for production? Yes, you can use Firebase for production, you guys. This is why I'm saying like Instacart, right? Instacart uses Firebase and Twitch uses Firebase, and a lot of big companies use it.
And somebody said, how much does Firebase support SMS, WhatsApp push notifications or two-factor authentication? So push notifications, that's something else. You have to look at something else for push notifications. But Firebase will be able there to save the notifications there. So yeah. And in fact, two-factor authentication as well. You can just set up two-factor auth with Firebase. That is where you have Google authentication, you know, Facebook authentication, and both of those support two-factor auth.
Exactly. Now, you guys, I do want to mention one thing. If you guys are interested in learning about all of these things like JavaScript, and you are also interested in, let me actually take you off, Naz, just because I think it's going to cut you off, so you can quit your video actually if you want.
Okay.
If you guys are interested in learning how to become a developer and go from zero to your first $100,000, and whether you do that in 6 months, 12 months, or 3 years, or 5 years, we wanted to put together a full roadmap for you, a step-by-step guide. So what I recommend is definitely go ahead and check this video out. We have put together a free exclusive training for you, and it's called Top 3 Mistakes to Avoid When Becoming a JavaScript Developer. And it gives you a full roadmap how you can take your JavaScript or any coding skills and then turn that into cash. So the link is actually in the description below, and you guys can just go ahead, click register at the bottom and register for this training. And again, it's a free training, just super value packed. So I did want to let you guys know of that. Hopefully that is valuable to you. With that said, let's continue. So Firebase, guys, it's free, fast, and easy to use. All right, so as easy as that.
Yeah.
Now let's talk DevOps, Naz.
All right, guys. So what is DevOps? Now, if you actually have an idea of what it is, drop that in the comments below. But in general, what DevOps is, it is how, my friends, is how you go from developing an application to actually then putting it to live, right? Think of it as like, let's say you just developed Facebook, right? And you want to put it live for everybody to see and use, right? The whole process between development to putting it there is DevOps, right? And that includes things like, for example, right, like building it, right? So if you right there, right?
Yeah.
Section, and then you go ahead and go to continuous integration, and then you go ahead and go to deployment, and then you operate, then you get feedback, right? And based on feedback, you can, and then so continues and continues and continues. And if we go to the next slide, keep going.
And we're going to touch base on all of these types of technologies as well. So like you're going to need to learn about things like Docker or Kubernetes or Jira. And you guys might have heard of Selenium or Jenkins. All of this type of stuff, right? Git, GitHub, GitLab, all of these are things that you kind of have to know. Like Git, for example, is a need. Every developer needs to know this. So let's move on to the next one.
Yeah. For this one, what is continuous integration now, right? This is where you guys, we talked about Git, right? This is where your version control of your application. So think of it like that's where you store your code, okay? So that it all kind of comes from there. Then your code gets uploaded to GitHub, okay? From GitHub, what we can do is we can actually do unit testing. Now, what is unit testing, Qazi?
Unit testing is you basically take any part of your code, and especially if you guys are doing functional programming, you want to write tests for it. And they should go and test if your application or your functions are behaving how you would expect it to behave. So let's just say you made a simple form with user login where they could click, enter their username, password, hit login, and enter the site. Now you might have a test running using Selenium or Cypress.io or whatever testing unit you want to use. That testing thing will go and open a browser, type in the correct username, type in the correct password, and hit log in. If that works, your test will pass. If it doesn't log you in, it will go, your test has broken. So then it will alert you, send you a notification maybe on your mobile device, a notification on your Slack channel so the entire team knows that there's something wrong. And then you know that you have a bug, and then you can actually start fixing it. So unit testing is really important because especially once your code base gets bigger and bigger, what if you have, I think it's easy to keep track of if you have 100 lines of code. But what if your application you're working on has 10,000 lines of code or 1 million lines of code? Very hard to test it unless you have unit testing built in from day one.
And it is basically there, guys, so that to prevent any problems when it does go live, okay? From a unit testing, then you have code analysis. So you can actually basically check, hey, how did this developer write the code? Was it cleanly written? Or wasn't written? And so you can get kind of there. Code analysis, then what you got test coverage. So it pairs for unit testing, right? And what happens here is that, hey, what percentage of my code is covered with testing, with unit tests, right? Is it 50%, is it 60%, is it 70%? And if a certain test coverage pass, right? Well, for example, other companies, I'll just say really quickly, a company that I worked with, we had to make sure that we had 70% test coverage, right? If that was passed, then the last part, what we did is we did a what? We did a release, okay? That is when the application goes live. And so guys, that whole circle that you see, that is continuous integration, a very big part of development, and actually a lot of fun. I'm not kidding. I actually love
It's
this
a lot of
process.
fun. Like, especially if you get the hang of it, test driven development, they call it TDD.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun, you guys, once you actually learn how this thing works. Because oftentimes, what I really like about test driven development is it can actually help you write code instead of be your enemy. So the right way to do it, if you want to do tests, everybody has a different way. But what you can do is you can actually write the test first. I'll give you a very simple example. Let's say you wanted to make a sum function that just took A and B and combined them together. So you could give this function 1 and 2, and you should get back a 3. Now you could actually write a test case for it before you even start writing this function, and that will tell you, somebody like reading the test, it'll let them know like, okay, the data types this should take is numbers. It should take 2 arguments. It should return what the results should look like of what it should return. You can see it in the test cases. So then when you're actually writing the code, it makes it very, very clear for you on what it is you're trying to achieve with your code. It makes you very thoughtful of it.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going with that.
All right, so let's go. So GitHub introduced something called GitHub Actions, and now it's built in with continuous integration. Naz, have you looked a lot into GitHub Actions?
A little. See, I hear a lot of people like in development, but a lot of people are still a-okay. So.
Yeah, but it's pretty clean, guys. How it like allows you to do lots of workflows in an automated way. Something to definitely look into. Anytime you guys have new releases of things, I think it's good to kind of jump on it, even as a hobby, play around with it. Because if it's something truly useful, it can give you a big edge on other developers.
Like one big thing you guys can do is, like, for example, let's say you just pushed your code right to GitHub. You can create a GitHub action that will right away deploy your code to like Heroku or to like Firebase, right? So that's just something that you can, you can use.
Yep, exactly. Now let's continue. So let's talk dev stuff. Now there are lots of different things like design libraries. So the big ones are Material UI, Semantic, and Bootstrap. These are the most popular libraries ever, and they all actually support React, and they have native React things that are built in, so you can actually install Bootstrap into your React app and then use it natively, or you could install Material UI natively and use it with your React app. So let's continue. Now, what is Node and what is NPM, Naz?
All right, so Node, guys, right? That Node is the backend framework for building backend applications, okay? And NPM actually goes hand in hand with Node to install packages. So let's say maybe there is a React, maybe there's like a Bootstrap, package you want to install, or maybe there's a Material UI package you want to install. So NPM is there to manage all your packages that you need to install, and that's pretty much it. Honestly, that's the difference. The difference between those.
Yep, exactly. And now a lot of people have a fight between NPM or Yarn. Guys, just pick one. They're both amazing, and that's
just pick honestly on NPM, and just pick NPM, and you just continue with it.
Yeah, that's it. Just pick NPM, and you're good to go. Now, which code editor should I use? Atom. I've used Atom. I've used Sublime. I've used Visual Studio Code. Sublime. Fuck Sublime. Just because of how many times it asks me to pay for it. Atom is really good, but you know what I'm talking about right now. Is that pain? So painful.
There we go.
Yeah,
guys, give some fire down in the comments for VS Code.
Yep. So VS Code, then extensions are so easy, but if I could just name one extension that puts it above everything, is LiveShare.
Yeah.
Like, just that one extension will clearly prove to you why VS Code is superior to pretty much every other editor out there on the planet. Just that alone. But there's tons of other. I love it for its lightweight, along with its being super extensible. I can install Vim with one click, and I'm just up and running, and so much more. So VS Code is the way to go. Yep. And here are the extensions you must use. These are like highly recommended. So first of all, I would highly recommend you guys get LiveShare, especially if you code with somebody. Another one I really like and use a lot is Prettier. So this is for every single time I hit save, my code automatically gets formatted. Brackets, because when I switched over to JavaScript, it was so annoying how many squiggly brackets and semicolons you guys have. In Python, it's all with indentation. So it always confused me, just all the squigglies, like which squiggly is closing which squiggly, you know, it was like, give me a headache. This solves that problem, because every squiggly or every bracket gets, every parentheses you have gets a color. And then you can see, oh, the red one matches and closes the red one. I'm good to go. Yeah. And the last one here that I want to talk about is, so of course, live server, get this extension as well. So then you can just have kind of hard reloading built in. And then this one is the React one for ES7 snippets. And this allows you to do cool things where you can actually write in something like RFCE, hit tab, and then boom, it just like writes a full component for you in React. So
that's insane.
Yeah, super nice. So those are the, so the, when it comes to linters and formatters, you need is, you know, Prettier, we talked about it, and then ESLint, and then 7 snippets. And we've talked about this, live code sharing or pair programming, super useful for that. And now you might be asking, how do I learn? So how do you learn, Naz, and what are we seeing here?
Yeah, guys. So the first and easiest way to learn is obviously going to be through YouTube. Just as you are doing it here, guys, you are learning through a YouTube platform. That's number one. A second way is going to be through what? Let's keep going to the next slide. That is going to be through community.
Yep.
A very important, I always say that community is probably one of the most important things that developer can have. So yep. Right, so for example, join a Slack community of developers, join a Discord community of developers, a Facebook community, a LinkedIn community, Instagram community. Any of those communities, you're going to connect, make friends, and also learn a lot. But hold on, give it a second. You will have the opportunity to potentially even get a job as well. That, my friends, is the biggest one, okay? And then with those communities in mind, the third community is going to be what? Let's keep going. Next one. Hey, the amazing profit with JavaScript community. All right, take it away.
Yo, our community is lit as fuck. Let me actually show you guys. Let me show you. Actually, a nice transition into our community. Nice slides, whoever did them. I think Sonny, huh? So guys, look at this community. It's always just lit. Like Somya Deep just shared his experience, and he goes, an e-learning company here in my country paid him to take YouTube sessions to learn coding. That is sick. So boom, there is. Go ahead.
And Samadip actually, I know you guys don't know here, but Samadip actually got a job at Expedia.
Whoa, are you serious?
Yep, we got a job at Expedia as a developer. I think 2 months after joining JavaScript, after joining Profit with JavaScript.
Bro, oh, that makes me so happy, bro.
I know, right, guys?
I gotta get on a call with this guy.
Guys, give Samadip a like or give Samadip a high five in the comments below, because he's killing it.
Let's party for Somya Deep, you guys. I know we don't have Naz here, but I'll do the dancing for him. Hey, let's go. Wait. Oh shit, Naz is here. Wait, okay, we can see you in the middle. Nice. So guys, Somya Deep, this is awesome. Guys, the community is just really, really great. So you guys can see whether you're posting technical questions, we are responding to you and helping you out, or you guys can be posting and sharing your wins, the coaching calls, homework assignments. Guys, at the end of the day, look, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to get real with you here. Doesn't matter whether you join the Profit with JavaScript community or any other community. What's important is that you become a part of a community. You become a part of a family, essentially. If you think about dancers, how they get good at it is they join a dancing community. People who become really good at anything are parts of like community. They're around those people who have the skill that you want to have or that they want to have. And so that's the key thing here for you guys. That's the thing that is important. Now,
And Qazi, how can they join the community like this, by the way?
Oh, if you guys want to join our Profit with JavaScript community, it's very simple, you guys. You can go to this page over here. Here is the link at the top. The link is going to be also in the description, but it's our course called Profit with JavaScript. And really, the biggest thing about this course, if I can just give you one thing, is that we actually, of course, we give you the technical training and the live calls, which are huge, but we actually help you make an income with it. That's our number one goal. We want you to have your skills on this side meet practicality and ability to make an income. That's Profit with JavaScript in a nutshell. So if you're even slightly curious, go ahead and check this page out and watch this video. It's lit. And with that said, let's just jump back into the training. Dope. Now, what is tutorial hell, Naz? People talk about this often. Do you know about this?
I don't know about this. I've been there. Guys, if you can let us know in the comments. But basically, it's just like you want to become a developer, right? You're learning a lot of new things. And at the same time, what's going on is you're just watching a lot of YouTube tutorials non-stop, one after the other. And so
Not
you
fun.
definitely want to get away from that, right?
Yeah.
Watch the tutorial, but at the same time, build a project.
So
Join another community.
So I think Naz is slightly wrong on this one. I think what this actually is once a developer passes away and they were a bad developer, that's where they go. They go to tutorial hell. Now, guys, you want to master the fundamentals, all right? Make sure you master them and don't move past until you master them. And this is everybody's nightmare. I think this is actually what happens when you die as a developer and you were a bad developer. This is what your eternity just loops over again and again and again. So things like this, make sure you understand them, like what is a git merge and how to deal with it. I think that I honestly think that if somebody's an expert at git merge, they can just get a job just for knowing how to git merge as an expert.
Yeah, definitely could.
Like, I feel like it's that important. Like,
or get push, or get push or get pull,
Exactly. And here we got some other stuff. Steve says no, they become a project manager. That's hilarious. The hell that they go to. Now, why you need to know Git and GitHub, you guys. Git is, how I think of it, is a time machine. Also, in a video game, you have saves and checkpoints. When your character dies, wouldn't it suck that after you spent 10 hours into a game, you would have to start from zero? That would suck. That's why developers invented savings and checkpoint. So when your character dies in a video game, you can start from the last checkpoint. When it comes to Git and your software, if you don't do that, you're not really saving along the way. So if your code breaks at some point, or application breaks, you can never go back to when things were working, and you're permanently screwed, and the company can lose millions of dollars. But if you understand how Git works, it's essentially just like a time machine. So you can actually go back in time to when things were working just fine. And you can also be working with other developers at the same time, working on 3 different features. So developer 1 can be working on the ability to add user login. Developer 2 can be adding the functionality for the app to be hosted online or something, right? And then at some point, they can actually merge both of those things at the same time. And now both of those functionalities are added simultaneously into the app. So Git is an extremely important thing to learn. And one important note I want to make is Git is, I repeat, Git is not GitHub.
Yeah. Well, wait. So what is the difference? I thought it was GitHub.
So the difference between Git and GitHub, you guys, is GitHub is literally, think of it like Dropbox for code. Think of it like Google Drive for code. You just save your code on GitHub. That is it. Git is what is version control. So if you get in an interview and you don't know the difference, I will come and fire you.
Yeah. Good luck. Good luck. I see GitHub is simply the online for Git. It is the online version for Git. That's pretty much it.
Yep. Exactly. Now, what is a preprocessor, you guys? So preprocessors are things that allows you to process your CSS. So there are things like Sass, and they gave you some additional functionality, post CSS and less. What's cool about them is they can allow you to do really like fancy things in a fast way. And they also give you ability to add in variables to your CSS. But a lot of that functionality now is coming natively, where now you can actually just add variables in your CSS. So Naz, do you know what the point of using a preprocessor for you would be?
Yeah, so for Sass, we actually, interestingly enough, we actually went over with this in a recent coaching call. But the reason why you would use, for example, like Sass or Last or Post CSS, guys, is because think of it as like, it's like, I see it as like CSS on steroids, and it is what makes CSS scalable. Meaning you can write huge application with CSS, right? For example, one big thing you guys to consider is like Bootstrap or Material UI. How do you think they are written? They are written with Sass, right? Because there you can have variables, you can have mixins, we call it, right? You can have, it's like basically having JavaScript functionality inside CSS.
Oh, that's actually a great way to put it. So JavaScript, basically JavaScript
in CSS almost. Yeah, functionality in CSS.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, hopefully that makes it really clear for you guys. I think that's a great explanation for using these types of things like Sass or less. Yep. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, let's move forward. Now, style components, Naz, what are these?
So style components, that is what we have in React, right? And basically what you would do is you would create components and you would actually style the components within JavaScript, right? So when you build React applications, you don't necessarily build, sometimes you do have CSS within CSS files, but sometimes you can also have CSS within the JavaScript file too. And that's something you should guys look into. Like if you're going to learn React, you're going to learn style components.
Yep. And React uses something called JSX, which allows you to be able to do all those things in JavaScript as well.
Exactly.
Dope. And then we also, what are CSS modules?
The CSS modules, that is basically you can create, I like to call them partials, right? So you can, so for example, if you have Sass that you know, if you're using Sass, you can create, kind of think of it as like, you know, a module for variables in CSS. You can create a module for, you know, a specific, you know, let's say it's, you know, the header, right?
Yeah.
And then you can create the main module. We call it the main module.
Yeah.
And that main module, what does it do? It imports all of the other partial modules. Okay? So the header module, the variable module, right?
It's almost like component based, like how in
CSS.
React, yeah, it's like component based CSS almost.
Yeah, but yeah, you basically split it up and that's it.
Yeah, so think of it like how components are to React, right? CSS modules are to CSS. So kind of like that, you guys could use them.
Exactly.
Dope. And then we have BEM. Have you ever used BEM, Naz? And do you know what a good reason to use BEM is?
So guys, I actually have never learned about BEM until Sonny came along.
Yeah, Sonny talks about it all the time.
Sonny is a very big proponent of that. Yeah, so yeah, Qazi, actually you go ahead and talk about it, because I know you've had dealt more with it at this point with Sonny.
Yep, I use it a lot more. I used it with Sonny a bunch. And BEM, guys, it's a really clean way for having naming conventions. It will also allow you to do things in a way where you won't have conflicts as your app starts to scale. It will have naming conventions that are very, very sensible, and the name itself most of the times will make it extremely clear what it's doing. So it's going to be really good for debugging. It's going to be really good for other developers to be able to read your code. They will instantly understand what all of your CSS designs and what all of your classes are meant to do. So definitely learn BEM. It's going to help you out tremendously.
Yeah.
And what's PWA?
By the way, guys, we are almost at 1,000 likes, guys. Let's get that to 1,000. I think we're at 800 right now. Come on, let's go.
We're at 954.
Yes.
Yo, guys, we're at 954.
Oh shit.
If you guys could help us break that 1,000 like mark, that would be huge. Thank you guys so much. And we're currently at 666 people live. The devil's number. What is happening?
Wow. Oh, fuck.
I think maybe we were talking about tutorial hell and we started detracting like a JavaScript Satan.
Oh man, we gotta be careful now.
Now, what is this PWA stuff?
Yeah. So that's progressive. We call this, guys, progressive web applications. Okay. And I like to call them as one-page apps, right? So if you think about it, actually, for example, Facebook is a progressive web app. Netflix is a progressive web app. YouTube is a progressive web app.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Why is it a progressive web app? Is because it's actually one page, but when you go to different, like for example, it's actually think of it as one HTML page, right? But as you go to different pages, certain blocks change. Yeah. So guys, did you notice, for example, that when you go, for example, on YouTube, did you notice that when you go to, for example, video, the header pretty much stays the same, right? The header at the top stays the same. Yep. That is what makes it a progressive web app.
Yep.
Because it's one page and only certain components change as you kind of go to a different page on this site itself. Right?
Yeah.
And it's very popular nowadays. It is basically when you're going to learn how to become a full stack developer, you're going to be learning progressive applications.
Super powerful. And I think, let me see actually. So features of PWA, it allows you to make full responsive and adds in browser compatibility. It has connectivity independence, so your app can actually work offline as well. It has a app-like interface. You can add it to your home screen. It has push notifications, which for some reason are only for Android right now. So I think Apple needs to step up their game. And then it allows you to make it fast using service workers. Now, let's go on to type checkers. And this is always a big battle between things like TypeScript and Flow. So TypeScript is essentially, just think of it like a supercharged JavaScript.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Because what TypeScript is, you guys, is if I was to draw it out, right? If we have this here, and then I'm going to make another circle inside of it, yeah? Now, the smaller circle inside of it is JavaScript. The bigger circle is TypeScript. So, technically speaking, TypeScript is actually a superset of JavaScript. So by definition, oh crap, my thing is blocking. So now you guys should be able to see it. So by definition, it's actually JavaScript and then some. And what it allows you to do is add in a lot of type checking that, why people really like languages like Java. It's strongly typed. You can see what data types are going to be returned with every function. It is a lot less buggy when you write your code, and people love that functionality. So the thought about how could they actually bring that to JavaScript so then it's less buggy, more scalable, and they introduced TypeScript.
Yeah. So for big companies, it's very popular. So
super popular.
When you're thinking about Tesla, when you're thinking about all these companies who are using React, they're going to be using TypeScript.
Yep. Omkar says, now we see our path is slowly lighting up. Thank you so much for this session. Yep. Now let's go. Yeah, you guys can learn TypeScript, and you guys. So Felipe asks, should I start learning TypeScript instead of JavaScript? Now remember, it is built on top of JavaScript, so there's no way you can detach the two. They're both the same. TypeScript is just more.
But I would say my recommendation to Felipe, because I saw the question
first, right?
Learn JavaScript first, 100%. TypeScript can come later. Don't worry about that just yet.
Yeah. Just get really good with JavaScript, you guys, and then move on to it, and you guys can use it.
Agreed.
Now, so this is the fight that's happening between TypeScript and Flow. And we know who the winner is, you guys. Another word for TypeScript. Do you guys know another word, another way of saying TypeScript? It's actually HypeScript.
Oh, is it?
Hey! Damn, man. Where's my sound stuff go? I wanted to play the freaking air horns. Who stole my sounds? All right, I'm going to play it right now.
There you go.
All right, there we go. So, yeah, so TypeScript is super popular, and the trend is just going like stupid, which is why a lot of people are actually calling it HypeScript. So I would just, if I had to pick between the two, I would just pick TypeScript and call it a day. Okay?
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Let's move on. Now, people talk about Dino. What's the hype about? Nils, do you know about this? You want to speak to it? You want me to talk about it?
I don't know too much about Dino, guys. Honestly,
Okay.
You go ahead.
Okay, cool. So there is NPM, right? There's NPM, and NPM was pretty awesome. But then the creator of NPM was like, hey, man, I found a lot of weird things about NPM, and I want to like take it to the next level. And then he ended up creating Dino. But until it takes off and it starts being super popular and big companies start using it, guys, keep learning NPM, because NPM is not going to be going anywhere anytime soon.
Nope.
As a hobby and for fun, you can start picking up Dino just for, you want to do something cutting edge, new shiny object. But keep learning NPM, guys. Keep learning NPM and just stick to NPM for now. Now, Webpacks. You want to speak to this?
Yeah, so Webpack, guys, is, it's basically, think of it as like it's a task manager for JavaScript. So you know how you saw a lot of those like preprocessors? So Webpack is what allows you, for example, to use Sass. It allows you to, for example, minify JavaScript. So when I say minify, I mean like compress JavaScript, okay? And this is what allows you to build, progressive web applications or single page applications, okay? And the reason why that is because it's like a layer above your application, okay? So it runs the server, right? It runs any tasks that are needed in terms of like processing your CSS, processing your JavaScript, processing your HTML, all that stuff Webpack does. And it's definitely one of I would say one of the biggest like developer tools that's used in applications, 100%. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so definitely. So when it comes to learning this, should we say definitely learn this?
100%. Web. So there's a few. There's Webpack, there's Gulp, and then there's Grunt. Webpack is the biggest one. Highly recommend you. I would say focus on that one.
So focus on Webpack.
Yes.
Okay, got it. Awesome. So focus on Webpack, and then you guys can learn about other ones too, but Webpack is the most popular.
Yep.
Beautiful. And then DevTools, Naz. What is this? Do I need to know Chrome? I mean, why can't I become a developer without knowing DevTools, bro? What are you talking about?
Oh, man. Chrome. Guys, if you don't know Chrome DevTools, I don't know, man. Let's just say that you have to understand how to use Chrome Debugger, how to use, Chrome Console, and just being able to use Chrome as a way to debug your website. Okay, just think of it as that.
Super
so you just
powerful.
need it for debugging. Yeah, super powerful.
And guys, I'm just gonna give you one little hack anyway. So learn console.log, which is very important. And here's another one, console.table. Use this one, guys. This is like a little pro tip I'll throw in there.
Yeah.
Amazing for visualizing your objects and arrays as a table, and it's just such a nice little trick you guys can use.
Yeah. And console.log everything.
Console.log your life. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. React. So using the React profiler. Have you used this, Nas? Do you know what this is?
I have not used React Profile, no.
Okay, guys. So use React profiler. And now native apps and React Native, guys. If you want to build native apps, it's really easy to do it with React, as pretty much all the apps that you build with React are almost native and ready to go and be translated into a mobile app anyway.
Yeah, I think I said React, actually Tesla app is built with React Native.
Oh, really? Tesla is?
Yep.
Okay, damn. Let me put that. Tesla built. Damn.
Yep.
Nice. Okay, cool. So let's move forward. Now, Electron is for desktop apps. And here are some of the things that are built with Electron.js. Okay, so Electron it allows you to build desktop apps with JavaScript. Okay, build.
Holy, I'm looking at it right now. So VS Code,
Yep,
WhatsApp,
VS Code.
Twitch, Slack. What?
Yep.
Slack.
You didn't know that?
What? No way.
Yeah. All
Oh,
of this
wow.
stuff. I was actually just gonna like write all of these out, that they're all actually built with this.
Wow. Insane.
Yep. And Steve is saying something awesome. He's like, only about 75% is usable from React to React Native. So if you want to make something completely native, that's something you guys should learn, which is React Native itself. And oh, I know what the profiler is, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know why I acted like an idiot.
Where?
So the React profiler, it is a Chrome extension you guys can get. And you can go to pretty much any app and use it in your Chrome, where you guys have your Chrome console and inspector tools. You can actually have a React profiler, and it allows you to see how that app is built. You can see all the components and everything along those lines.
Okay, I see.
Yeah. So Electron.js is pretty damn sick to learn. I think you guys should definitely take a look into it if something along those lines interests you to make desktop apps. Now, we're going to get into testing frameworks. So Naz, go for it.
Yeah, so obviously there's three types of testing we have. Number 1, unit testing. Number 2, integration testing, and then 3, functional testing. So Jest is definitely one of the testing frameworks that you can use. For example, with like React, okay. And then if we keep going, hold on, Enzyme, right?
Yep.
You can. Looks like Airbnb actually uses Jest as well to test their code, because their application is written in React.
And they're even using it to test their UI.
Yeah. So some very powerful tool there.
Yep. So support for hooks, and the one you guys should use, which is actually like super highly recommended and one of the best, is this one, Cypress. So if you guys want to use, this is actually even better than Selenium, you guys. So if you want to use something, use cypress.io for testing.
Gotcha. Yep.
And allows you to test anything that runs in a browser. And then of course you have Selenium, and there's also Selenium for React. So you guys can use Selenium to test React apps. And then there is something called server-side rendering. So a lot of the times, if you guys want to go from if you guys want to get to that senior level developer, server-side rendering is one of those things you guys should actually really learn about and understand. And one of the tools you can use for it is called next.js. So this is.
I was going to say Vishnu has just donated 40. I'm not sure how much money that is. 40 something. Did you see that?
Yep. Thank you so much, Vishnu, for the donation. Really appreciate you. And let me see. Yeah. I'll take you guys to next.js actually, and let's actually take a look at that website. So boom, here we go. Oh, it's by Versal. Nice. Okay. So this is what it is. It's the React framework for pre-render sites, and it's the Jamstack for the enterprise. So you guys can see it has file system routing. So I can actually like switch between app really, really fast, and it will do all of the rendering and everything server side. So then when the user goes, it's extremely fast. The reason to learn it is to make your apps really, really fast at a very high level. And an English version of server-side rendering is, it's like it basically allows you to make super lightning fast apps. Okay.
Yeah.
And
think of it as like you have a cached version of your app, like your whole HTML app.
Yes.
It's the cached version, and you're right away displaying to the user as they are loading it.
Exactly. It also has, Next.js also has automatic code splitting. So if your app is online and there's a bunch of stuff that's not being used, or a bunch of files that the user is not using, it will upload them without uploading those things. So that way it's going to be super lightweight as it gets uploaded. It'll know like whatever is not being used, it just won't upload that for those parts. So that's super powerful. It'll save you a ton of space and make your app really, really fast. So why use it? It's good for static exporting, pre-rendering. It requires pretty much no configuration on your end. It's fully extensible, allows you to do CSS in JavaScript. It is ready for production, and here are the companies that are using it. Next.js, so Trulia, Netflix, GitHub, Twitch, Docker, Starbucks, Hulu, and the list goes on. So definitely something you guys should look into. And then here, I think that you can even go to their showcase, and they show you like what are all. So here's like jobs.netflix.com page is built with Next.js.
Yeah.
So
and you can see basically just how fast it loads all the data right away.
Yep.
Right. Again, because it is a static pretty much site.
Let's see what type of jobs Netflix has, because I'm about to get a job there, bro. I'm about to leave Clever Programmer.
Man. Let's apply. Let's
go. Let's apply. Forget about these live streams.
Yeah.
I'm in over.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, guys. Sorry, I'm gonna apply here. All right. So let's go back. Do you guys want some music in these live streams, guys? What are you guys thinking? Because I'm thinking we should start adding some music to this thing and make it a lot more like upbeat. Maybe some dubstep in the back. Savage live.
Music, man. I'm just gonna be dancing all the time, man.
Yeah, I want to add music to this stuff, bro. He goes, you guys are doing great. Really looking forward to learn and enhance my technical skills from you guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right. Somebody asks how to choose between client side and server side. You're going to have to learn both if you want to build full stack applications.
Yeah.
And
learn client side first and then learn server side. Trust me.
Yeah, learn. Yeah, exactly. That's a good order to do it in. Do you want to speak to static side generators, Naz?
Yeah, so static side generators is kind of what you guys saw with Next.js, but imagine you have a website, right, that shows some data, right? Well, what happens is static side generator will actually take the data from a database, create a static HTML site, and then we'll be able to display to a user. Okay. Yep. And again, the reason why we do this is because of speed. Okay. So instead of us trying to go every time a user tries to get some, a site, instead of us trying to go to the database, grabbing data from a database, and then, show the HTML is right there displayed for them. And so that, my friends, is why kind of like you use static site generators.
Yep, exactly. Now, the most popular static site generator right now is Gatsby. Very, very powerful. I think helpful to learn that. This is for server side, so this is next.js. There's Jekyll. Nuxt is, I believe, it's basically like Next.js, but for Vue. You got Hugo and Gatsby. So one thing I'll recommend is if you want to do static site, use Gatsby. If you want speed in a dynamic app that you're building and you want more scalability, pick Next.js. So I think between these are the two I would recommend for you guys.
Yeah. And Gatsby actually works very nicely with React as well. So
that's true. Yep. So there you go. And if you guys are still not sure how to get started, we can talk about how to make money as a developer. So we covered this in a lot of detail in the last live stream. We're not going to go too much into detail on this, but one of the ways you guys can actually make an income is by teaching coding to people. And I'm going to just list out some platforms that are good for this. If you guys are interested, you can pause it and view this, but I already covered a lot of this in Front-End Developer Guide. So I'll just talk about like some resources you guys can go is Facebook groups, Instagram, Wisant, Take Lessons, People Per Hour, Craigslist, Upwork, Fiverr, or LinkedIn, or some other ones. You guys can take a screenshot of this, but these are really good resources for going and getting jobs as a developer, even if you're a beginner and you don't have an actual job. Because getting a full-time job, guys, will take you a long time. It will take you, most people, it takes them 1 to 2 years. So in the start, I think what I recommend is you learn coding and then you can teach it to other people and charge them, whether they're high school students, college students, they're going to coding boot camp. You can definitely help them. And just with these two platforms alone, Wisant and Take Lessons, I personally, before I started Clever Programmer, was able to scale my income to $104,000 per year. And then I added in Craigslist. And this is where I started I used Craigslist to freelance. And I started adding in with Craigslist. I was able to take my income even above that. So I would use it to land contracts or freelancing clients. So that gave me another source of income. And those are the ones I really, really recommend for you guys as well. If you guys want to go more on the freelancing side, then you can go heavier on Upwork.
Nice.
Number 2 way of making an income from coding is how, Naz?
Freelancing, guys. So that means basically you are a person and you are getting work by yourself from clients, right? So you're going up, you're using websites like Upwork, like freelancer.com, like TopTal, and you're literally just kind of going there, seeing what work needs to be done, and then applying, and then saying, hey guys, hey client, I can actually do this work, and this is how much I charge, and that's pretty much it. So it's very much different from, because it's just like basically it's project by project basis.
Yep, exactly. And then, of course, you guys can go the route, which is step 3 for a lot of people, is getting a permanent job, or, even if it's not permanent, getting a full-time job, essentially. And so that's really like level 3. Like if I had to put it, I think you could teach people as a beginner. Number 2, you can freelance as kind of intermediate developer. And then I think for full-time, you need to be a little bit more advanced, because nobody's going to want to pay you a lot of money if you're either not advanced or not, have some experience. So freelancing and teaching allows you to get that experience. I'm going to also go through this pretty fast, but I think that you should go in this order. Learn coding, then learn to coach, and that should put you at $3K per month income. Learn to freelance, that should put you at $5K a month income. So this stacks on top of each other. So this 3K and 5K, you should be at 8K a month. And again, guys, it's very rare for people, but if you actually follow this roadmap and put in the work, it's very possible for you. And then if you have a job, you can be making 7K a month from a job, at which point you could choose to keep all 3 sources of income, or say no to all your clients, say no to all this, and just be happy with the 7K a month. Or you could keep your freelancing plus this, and now you have 13K a month coming in. Or you could choose to say no to your freelancing, keep some clients on the side they're teaching coding to, and this, and now that puts you at 10K. Really, like whatever flavor suits you, but the potential, if you put in ridiculous hours of work and time, that your potential income could really be 15K a month or more. So with that said, you guys, if you guys want to be able to actually learn, and go ahead, you can take a picture of this. And I added in a nice little camera for you guys here. You can take a picture of that. If you guys want to learn how to do all of this, we have packaged this in our course called Profit with JavaScript. The link is in the description below. So definitely go, and at the very least, just click the button to check out that program. We had Kathy Capolina just enrolled 7 minutes ago. So
hey,
I don't know.
Let's go, Kathy.
Nice. So I don't know if she's actually live, but that's amazing if you are. Okay. And yeah, these are our students that have had amazing experiences with our program. We have countless of students that have just loved it. So definitely, guys, check that out. And with that said, this was the full stack developer guide that we had put together for you. I hope that you guys really, really enjoyed it. And we talked about, just to kind of recap, we talked about React, JavaScript, Material UI, Firebase, Angular, Bootstrap, Node. We talked about things like SQL and NoSQL databases. We talked about which editor you should use and which framework is the best. We talked about Git and GitHub and Java. And we also talked about how to actually make income with coding. Okay. So hopefully that brought you a lot of value and you guys really, really enjoyed it. And if you did, guys, what should they do, Naz, if they enjoyed it?
Smash that like button. Destroy the like button to the best of your ability. Subscribe to this channel, guys, and also, guys, also tag us in your Instagram. Tag us, go ahead, screenshot this as well. Tag us what you learned, and we like to go ahead. We actually like to, share
tags.
Your stories as well. So tag us on Instagram as well. So yeah.
Yep. So, dude,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Most importantly, guys, smash the like button.
Yep, that's it. And with that, oh, by the way, we broke 1,000 likes, so that's huge. We're at 1,100 likes right now, you guys. So thank you so much for that. Really hope you guys enjoyed it. Guys, tomorrow Frankie is going to be going live. And what are you going to be talking about, Frankie?
I still haven't decided on the topic, but it's going to be very soft skills based. It's
okay.
Definitely going to have a lot of value, so stick around tomorrow.
Yep. So it's going to have a lot of value. He said, hopefully you guys heard him, but I'll repeat some of what he said. But he said it's going to have a lot of value. It's going to be value packed tomorrow. And he's going to be talking about how you can make more income as a developer and many more things along those lines. So definitely, guys, set up your alarm. We're going to be going live tomorrow at 10:15 a.m. Pacific. All right. That is August 12th. And if you want to be notified of this, click subscribe. Okay. Subscribe to the channel. Helps us a lot. So we would be very grateful. And we also, another reason selfishly for you why that would be helpful is when we do go live with the value that we're bringing, and if you want to be notified of it, subscribe, hit the bell notifications and turn them on, and then you'll get a notification on your phone and our YouTube video will pop like right underneath there. And that way, whether you're bored, you're in line somewhere, you're hanging out with somebody you don't want to be hanging out with, or just like you kind of want to watch Netflix but for developers, you can just click and tune in to our show tomorrow where we're going to be covering and bringing you a ton of value. And also this week we're going to be building on Friday, I think. We're going to be building damn.
What? What are we building? Was it Facebook? No.
We're building something awesome. But it might be a clone like Facebook clone or LinkedIn clone. Oh no, we're building Instagram Reels.
Oh yeah.
On
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let me actually bring you in, Naz.
Am I on here?
There we go. Now you're on here.
Hey.
So we're going to be building the clone for Instagram Reels. That's a new thing that Instagram has dropped. It's a TikTok competitor, which a lot of people don't know about yet, but soon everybody will. And their goal is really to take over TikTok through Instagram. So if you guys subscribe to the channel, make sure in the chat below you start dropping that you have subscribed to the channel. And I want to give every single one of you a shout out that way. And make sure you also let me know, hey, I've subscribed to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. That way I'll give you a shout out, and also you will get the video. My goal is that you guys are notified and your skills as developers can actually improve and you can land jobs.
Yeah. And guys, encourage everybody else to also subscribe. Come on. Let's get this. Let's get the subscriber count even more up as it is. We're doing amazing stuff here with you guys. We're teaching a lot. We're learning a lot ourselves as well. So yeah, subscribe and let's keep it going.
We're teaching each other sometimes, dude.
Yeah. I'm not even kidding. Like, I learned a lot today.
Like, look at. By the way, look at this, dude. Like,
What?
like you guys are helping us fucking crush it on. Like, look at this. So I'm gonna share the screen here. Look at our subscriber count, you guys. After we started live streaming with you guys, it's been huge. Thanks to you guys. And on Saturday, on Sunday, 4K. We've never hit 4,000 subscribers in a day, and we broke 700,000 subscribers, you guys. That is huge.
Guys, you hit that button. Everybody's like, hit the DJ sound, the buzzer sound. You got it?
Hey. Nice. Yeah, I see everybody saying pull the buzzer. That's hilarious. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So I see a bunch of people. Div Young says, I've subscribed, bro. Building an awesome portfolio. Thanks to you guys. Muhammad says, you guys are awesome. Always providing content that helps us to get better. I smashed the like button. I've subscribed. Yuvraj says, I've subscribed. Omkar says, I've done it a long time ago.
Beautiful.
Muhammad says, subscribed and turn on bell. Love you, bros.
Nice.
Yep. This is awesome. So thank you guys for that love. And Wilhel says, I've subscribed and turned on the notification bell. So yeah, guys, like you guys are helping us crush it. And now we're honestly, I don't know any other developer channel that's growing this fast.
It's insane. It's insane. I mean, just give it a
dude.
guys,
We're about to grow faster than like Graham Stephan. Actually, do you know that?
Dude, and just wait till we get together. You guys might not know this, but there's something really cool coming in the next few weeks. Just wait till we all get together. Oh man, what's about to happen?
What the hell is this? What am I looking at? I have to freaking verify I'm a human being to see Graham Stephan?
Because you're not a human being. Maybe we're not.
Please click each image containing a boat. Okay, this is pretty difficult. Okay. Boat.
That
Boat.
That
Boat. What about this one?
Yeah, that one too.
Next. Please. Okay. Boat. 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 Boat.
What about the kayak?
I don't know. That seems like a boat to me. Okay, here we go. Let's see where Graham Stephan is at, man. Hopefully we can catch up to him. 10. He's hitting 5,000 subscribers a day almost. Look at the daily average, 3,600. So every few days he hits 10,000, which means that he's hitting 4,000. Yeah, this is the average. So yeah, I mean, our growth rate, you guys, thanks to you guys, is almost at par with Graham Stephan right now.
Let's keep it going, guys. Seriously. You know, keep subscribing, keep sharing with your friends.
You guys will beat PewDiePie.
One day. The biggest development channel out there. Period.
Hey.
And by that time, we probably have created all those clones in the world.
iDreams Hub says, I subscribed yesterday. You guys are amazing, and I'm a software engineer. Thank you. I love having... Go ahead.
I was going to say, Mandeep said, subscribe and alarm on. Appreciate it.
Okay, beautiful. Rasip says, oh my god, I smashed my phone screen for trying to destroy the like button. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is beautiful, you guys. And yeah, so with that said, guys, remember few things that we have also shared with you already. I'll just share with you guys one more time. So remember, we have the free training for you guys. So that link is in the description below. You guys can sign up for this free training. And then for those of you guys who want to just jump into the course, Profit with JavaScript, be a part of our community with over, how many people do we have now? We have
1,500.
Yeah, let me click.
1,500. Almost 1,500.
Yeah, we broke 1,400 for sure. So this community is just awesome. If you guys want to become a part of this community, our Profit with JavaScript community, then definitely jump in our course, Profit with JavaScript. Massive, massive value for all of you.
Yeah, I think it's Spunden asked, hey, can you please suggest about JS courses for beginners, please? Guys, Profit with JavaScript. Just that's it. All I gotta say. Join the course.
Yeah, it's a great course. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yep.
We built it ourselves.
Yep.
You know.
Bojack says, yeah, we built it. Exactly. We built it ourselves. So like you guys can imagine if our free content is this good, imagine what our paid content is going to be. You know, we take everything very seriously, and with you guys putting your trust in us, so we definitely want to just provide as much value as possible. Somebody says more than Traversy. Let me actually see. Are we growing faster than Brad Traversy? Let's see. Traversy Media.
No
And
way.
hopefully, Traversy, if you're watching this, Brad, I hope you do okay, my man, because I saw your recent video and he wasn't doing that well. So just
Really?
sending you a lot of love and prayer, and hopefully you do all right. And I mean, yeah, I think you're awesome, dude. So he's growing 1,300 subscribers every day average, but I think, yeah, if we look last, so yeah, I mean, I think right now we're growing faster, definitely growing faster than Traversy Media, actually.
Yeah. Vignette asked, is your course on weekdays as well? Guys, the course is self-paced course, but we also have coaching calls on weekdays and weekends. So yes, it's on weekdays, but it's also on weekends. That's my answer to that.
Yep. Exactly. So that's it, you guys. Any other last words, Naz?
Guys, all I gotta say is thank you. This has been an amazing live. I appreciate you all.
And happy belated birthday, Naz.
Oh, thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Love your face. And as always, this is Qazi.
And this is Nas
And we will see you
in the next video.
Peace.